Aaron Taylor, Senior Director of Product Marketing for Agile Operations at CA Technologies. We're streaming to you live from Las Vegas at CA World 2017. It's been a fantastic show. 3 days of fun, learning, and networking with colleagues. Today, I'm joined by Todd Polino, who is a site reliability engineer for LinkedIn. Todd gave a speech for us earlier today on the topic of site reliability engineering, and I wanted to spend a few minutes with him asking a few questions about what SRE, or site reliability engineering, is all about at LinkedIn, and what it might mean for your companies as well. Todd, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Kieran.
it.
It's great to be here.
So, many folks have not heard the term before. So they're like, SRE, what's that? What's a site reliability engineer? How do you, give me a quick sound bite.
It's that West Coast thing. So site reliability engineering, it's been described by a number of people as what happens when you take operations and make it a software problem. The job is all about automating operations out of a job, creating tool sets and chains where everything just works automatically. The software is driving the entire system, and it frees up everyone to focus on more meaty topics.
So where do the operations people go?
Developing those tools.
Awesome.
Making sure they work, improving them over time.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's always a new challenge.
Right. Hey, after your speech, I saw one gentleman come up and say, hey, we do this too, only we refer to it as guest reliability engineering. So they're thinking about the end user experience. Is that typical?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I talk about site reliability engineering, of course, it's the LinkedIn site that our members use. So my focus, and one of LinkedIn's top core values, is members first. So you could call it member reliability engineering. They call it guest reliability engineering. I've heard service reliability engineering.
Okay.
It's all the same thing.
Okay. And so what's the payoff? Like, why would a company, maybe look at SRE as a discipline? What's the benefit?
Well, the big benefit is you get to have your developers focus on developing the application, because they don't have to worry about all of the tooling and infrastructure around getting that application in front of the users. Mm-hmm. And you can roll out faster, you can roll out safer, and when there's a problem, you can mitigate it a lot faster because you have well-defined processes around all of this.
So an SRE, I guess they've got to be a developer, first and foremost, but they also have to have some knowledge around operations as well. I mean, is it a mashup of the two?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, as an SRE, you're doing the role of a developer, you're doing the role of a sysadmin, you're doing the role of an architect as well, because you're designing how the service gets laid out.
Yeah.
And you're writing the tools to support rolling it out and doing all the monitoring, and then when the whole thing crashes and burns, you're bringing it back to life again and getting it back to a state where it works.
Yeah.
So it really is a combination of a number of different roles, and many of us in the industry have done these roles before. So when I was doing ops, and it was just ops, I was also writing tools and scripts. We just didn't call it SRE at the time.
Right. So is it perhaps part of DevOps? Is it like an element in DevOps, or?
It's a specific implementation of DevOps, and SRE actually predates DevOps.
Oh, wow.
SRE was coined as a term in 2008.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool. By who? Do you know?
Ben Traynor over at Google. He's their head of site reliability engineering, so he coined the phrase back then.
All right, wow. So how many SREs do you have at LinkedIn?
Our org's about 400 to 450 people right now. When I started 4 years ago, it was closer to 100, 120.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. We spoke earlier, and from your speech, you kind of teed up this notion of culture.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of SRE?
Yeah, it is huge. I mean, honestly, it boils down to having an open and trustworthy relationship with all the teams in the company, and just being able to know that I'm doing my job and trust that the next guy over is doing his job, and we're both working towards the same ends. We're not working against each other. And that means when we can trust each other, we can be more efficient about what we're doing.
Okay. Looks like the show's coming to an end.
I know.
You're going to pull the plug on us. So where does somebody start? What's the first bite of an apple? What would you say if I've already agreed that I'm going to go on this cultural transformation and I've gotten past that point. Now I'm ready. What's the first thing I do?
So getting to the culture first is the perfect place to start. After that, SRE is all about data. Every org that I've seen that functions well is about data. So the best place to start is with monitoring and alerting, because you can't you can't fix things that you aren't measuring. If you
Yeah.
don't know you have a problem, you can't fix it.
Right.
So honestly, at LinkedIn, when we started doing SRE, everything was a mess, and there was no monitoring whatsoever. And that was the first task that was tackled, is getting good monitoring in place. Then you know what all the problems are, and you can then direct your SRE org to fix the right things.
I like that idea that you can't manage, what you don't measure, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do with the monitoring metrics? Do they go into like a Kafka bus?
Oh yeah, that's my job. Apache Kafka is my software project that I'm an SRE for. So at LinkedIn, everything gets fed into Kafka. We have 100 terabytes a day of unique metrics, logging, and user tracking information that comes into our system.
Wow.
And all of that has various different endpoints. So all of the applications emit their own monitoring information, and that goes into our monitoring system, and then from to there it goes to alerting. But that's all self-service for the developers. They don't have to go ask for a new metric. They just add the metric in and start using it.
We spoke earlier about the importance of kind of understanding that end user experience.
Mm-hmm.
What do you use for experience monitoring? Do you use synthetic or real user monitoring?
So from my point of view, running Kafka, my users are internal users, right?
Okay.
So I have monitoring on my application to make sure it's up and running and it's doing all the things it's supposed to. And I have availability monitoring, which has an actual client that produces data in and another client that consumes data out, just like my customers do. And we want to make sure that everything's available as well. And then, of course, we're also interacting with all of these teams constantly to make sure that everything's working. If somebody says, hey, something's broken, I think it's Kafka, they come to me, they engage me, and I go and look and see if it's actually a problem. Same thing for the member site.
Yeah.
So everyone's monitoring their particular applications on the front end. We have external monitoring of what the user sees from other sites, just like a lot of websites do. And then we're monitoring social media. Hi.
So do you think SRE is going to go mainstream? I mean, do you have to be like a LinkedIn or a Google to be doing this?
There are SRE orgs that have one SRE, and they're happy with the way that is. SRE should be the way that everyone's doing it, because honestly, all we're doing is automating the easy things and making all of the hard things easy.
Right.
So if that's not your goal, then why are you in technology?
Right.
I mean, maybe it's not enough for you to really focus on automating things right now because it's such a small part of your business. But at some point, you're going to either outsource that to someone else or improve the process you have, and that's where SREs shine.
How far does automation go? I mean, eventually, is the machine going to make remediation decisions for you?
I would love that. That's actually a project that I have a lot of interest in right now, is this idea of applying machine learning to what we do. Because machine learning transforms industries.
Right.
Well, why can't it transform operations as well?
If you look at performance problems, I mean, some of them have a profile, pig in a python, death of 1,000 cuts, so you could start to see a situation where you're doing pattern matching.
I want to see the computer detect that there's a problem, make the decision to fail out of a particular data center, try to fix it itself. We have an auto remediation system called Nurse that will follow runbooks and try to fix a problem as long as I tell it what to do. And if it can't fix the problem, then it tells me. But if it can, I get to sleep at night.
But right now, there's still humans in the loop.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. Do your tools offer suggestions, recommendations?
They start to. I mean, it depends on which tool you're dealing with. So I have tools that I've built for monitoring Kafka that are very high-level advanced tools, and they monitor everything about a Kafka consumer, and then call out better what the problems are. And as we learn more about the system, when we have a failure, we fix all the easy ones. So all I'm left with in Kafka are really hard problems now, and those unfortunately require humans to look at them all the time.
All right, so you're not out of a job yet. No.
I said, there's always a new challenge, and as an SRE, I don't want last week's challenge. I want next week's challenge.
Right, you want variety, right?
Yeah.
A little something new every now and then.
Yep, learn and grow.
There you go, awesome. So where could our viewers learn more about SRE?
There's a great post series on LinkedIn, obviously, that was written by one of my colleagues, Ben Pergison, in collaboration with David Henke, who is the guy who started SRE at LinkedIn. He used to be the engineering and operations lead. It's called Every Day is Monday in Operations.
What? Every day is Monday?
Every day is Monday in operations. There's always something broken.
Okay.
But it describes a lot of the challenges that LinkedIn's gone through with SRE. And then there's a book out from O'Reilly Media called Site Reliability Engineering that Google engineers have written, and that's a great one as well. But reading both of those, you're only going to see how SRE works at LinkedIn and how SRE works at Google.
Okay.
You still have to figure out how to apply it to your own company.
And do you see that it would be customized? It's kind of bespoke based on,
Everyone does it differently. Everyone has a different approach. A lot of it depends on where you came from as an SRE and how the org grew up. But it's very specific to the company. Because it is so culture based.
Yeah. It would seem that in order for this to work, you need to have all the data in one place, and there's different varieties of data: time series, structured, unstructured, topological data, etc.
Yep.
Did you guys have to tackle that problem?
I mean, we have tons of different types of data. So the metrics are one stream, tracking data is another stream. We have things that are inbound to Hadoop. We have all the processing that Hadoop does on stuff, and then the outbound data that's coming out to make decisions and make changes on the site. It's pretty challenging to work with, and that's part of why we have so many SREs, because we all have our specialties and which applications we know about.
Yeah. Do you see the opportunity for companies like CA Technologies, perhaps, to offer some, kind of pre-configured or out-of-box dashboards? Maybe there's some common tasks around an SRE that could be addressed by out-of-box software.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, LinkedIn's we're a large org. We build our own monitoring. We build our own automation. The smaller SRE organizations can't do that. They don't have the wherewithal to hire that expertise in-house. So they're going to be looking to people like CA and other organizations to help them build some of these tools. Monitoring, tool chains for build and development, and rolling applications out, rolling them back, and doing all that. And that is, again, part of allowing the engineers at the company to focus on what they really have to do, which is manage the overall process and manage the tools.
That's good to hear. We've invested a lot of time and energy in a product called Digital Experience Insights, and it does do some of what we've been talking about, kind of get all the data in one data lake, normalize it, and then, on top of that, using Kibana, have some nice dashboards that kind of help the IT ops and, I guess, SREs now.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, hey, I really appreciate you taking time. Thanks for coming to Las Vegas, CA World 2017, and sharing all of your knowledge around site reliability engineering.
Yeah, well, thank you and everyone else for inviting me. It's been a great couple days here.
Right on. Well, that's it for now. Thank you very much for joining us at CA World 2017. You can learn more about site reliability engineering at the links that Todd just mentioned, and you can learn more about Digital Experience Insights, or DXI, at ca.com/TRYDXI. That's ca.com/TryDXI. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day.